the judiciary, in the words of Cliff here, can bite. And indeed today it has bitten. What this means is that Miguna is back because the court has said, you know, the valid passport belonging to Miguna must be surrendered to this court within 7 days. And the court has further said that the status quo ante, that is as of the day when Miguna was arrested, should be restored. And you know, on that day, on the 2nd of February, the court had already made an order that Mr. Miguna must be released on a bond of 50,000 shillings. So the court has dealt with several issues. The question of the citizenship of Miguna, that is a moot point now, because now the court has said the valid Kenyan passport belonging to Miguna must be surrendered to the court. The court has dealt at length with the supremacy of the Constitution and the requirement of every citizen to comply with court orders. And I think this judgment should be made available to every public servant, starting from the President of the Republic of Kenya, that nobody is above the law. And I think it is important that we start from the President, so that everybody knows that when the court speaks, it speaks exercising judicial authority, that it is delegated to it by the sovereign, which is the people. And therefore, I think the Constitution has spoken, because the Constitution itself says, you know, the Constitution is always speaking. And today the Constitution has spoken, because you had so many provisions of the Constitution which were being cited by the learned judge. Therefore, we are happy to celebrate with our clients on this particular day when such an important judgment has been delivered by the judge. I want any of my colleagues to say something.
Let me add just two things. I think for all of us, but I think you can hear me. For all of us, there are two things to be said of this judgment. This judgment has restated supremacy of the Constitution and the authority of the law and the courts over public office and over all Kenyans. Let it be a lesson to anyone, public officer or other, believes that they can do whatever they want despite the law, that is not possible. Secondly, it has reaffirmed the authority and independence of the judiciary as one of the very few institutions left in this country that is functioning independently. And therefore, any threat to that independence must be defended by Kenyans for the benefit of Kenyans. And thirdly and lastly, I think it has spoken to all state officers and public officers that you cannot disregard the law at will. You must follow the law. Thank you.
Can I speak for the Law Society? Thank you very much, and I associate myself with the statements from my colleagues, Masina Orengo and Otiende. What I would like to do on behalf of my client, the Law Society of Kenya, is to celebrate the judgment, because the Law Society's main object and the purpose in enjoining in these proceedings is to ensure that the rule of law is followed and respected, and that court orders are obeyed. What is important and significant is that the judge made a finding that there was collusion within government, so that even as Matiang'i was acting with a direction or under the recommendation of Kialangwa, the judgment presumes that Matiang'i knew what his government was doing, and therefore it is important for all public officers to know, when you act as government, you will not escape the reach of the courts. Lastly, the Inspector General and the DCI have been convicted of contempt. That must have its own consequences, separate from bringing Miguna back. they must take personal responsibility and show the country that they hold their officers in honor, and after purging their contempt, they ought to resign office. Thank you.